A performance that good, it brings back the Brendan Rodgers song. What a result for Celtic. What a performance from Celtic as we head to Tynecastle and we don't just beat Hearts, we batter Hearts. Hearts 1, Celtic 4. Let's talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. If you haven't already, make sure to hit like and subscribe. We're back, the bread and butter of the channel is back, and Celtic, make no mistake about it, are back. What a performance from Brendan Rodgers' side this afternoon. We just keep getting better and better. We are finally seeing exactly what Brendan Rodgers has set out to do with this side. And if you're still on the anti-Rodgers bus, I feel sorry for you because it's good over here. We are eating good. And after what I said was our best domestic performance of the season in the last game before the international break, we've won up to it. We've trumped it today. And if that is the consistency now that we're going to see week in, week out, and we are upping our level to play like this against all opposition, we're going to be in for a good season, and hopefully it's something that can translate into performances on Wednesday nights, and hopefully against Atletico we can maybe play with a bit more optimism in our game to perhaps see a win, but we'll put that aside for now because the main thing is Celtic have taken all 3 points against Hearts this afternoon. They remain top of the table, they remain 7 points clear, and we silence them. So that's always fun, added bonus. Before I talk about the game itself and the usual 90 minutes of football being played, I just wanted to have a quick, I don't want to say rant, I just want to get something off my chest though, because that was a horrible advertisement for Scottish football. You might be, well, that was a great performance from Celtic. It was, absolutely. It was a great advertisement for Celtic fans, an advertisement of what is yet to come under Brendan Rodgers in this second spell. But I just couldn't help but feel, if you were just passing through the channels today, just flicking your way through and you went, oh, football's on, great, I'll stick this on, you'd have turned it right back off. What a miserable atmosphere at that game today. It was silent in Tynecastle. And this away allocation nonsense is just killing the game up here. It's frustrating. And I wish that the higher-ups at these football clubs, at Hearts, at Rangers, everywhere else that's trying to do it, would look at it and see what it's doing. It was miserable. And I don't mean any disrespect to any of the Celtic fans who were there today trying to create some noise. Obviously, we know the situation that's going on with the club and the fans at the moment. So there was an absence of sound that normally would be there. But our fans, they tried. They did. But what can you do with only 500 of you in a ground? Terrible advertisement for the game. And I've seen so many points about it on social media, on Twitter, during the 90 minutes of football. You know, imagine tuning into that and thinking, this is one of the biggest games that our country has to offer. And you wouldn't think anybody cared in that ground tonight, or today I should say. Just horrible. They need to fix it. They need to give Celtic the old allocations back. They need to give all teams their old allocations back and restore these games to the level they once were. Bring back the ferocity and the character of Scottish football that we also pride ourselves on. Doesn't seem like we have a lot of pride in that anymore in our game, and that was evident at today's game. So, yeah, it's just killing the game, I think. And fair play to the fans who did go, cracking day out for them as well for 4-1 win. But I will say, nice to see the Hearts fans piling out the stadium only 50 minutes in. Where do we even start with that then? Because, wow, what a performance. Some of the football in that game today was absolutely liquid. And do you know what? I'm glad that we are now getting to this point where Brendan Rodgers can prove all these people wrong. People were painting such a black and white image that with Ange Postecoglou leaving the club, that we were bringing in some dinosaur basement-dwelling manager who has no idea how to set up a game of football or play football. Or, you know, that was the impression some people were creating. Oh, we're going from Ange to this. Rotten. This is a guy who, give him the respect he deserves. 7 out of 7 trophies his time here at Celtic, and he's just got to keep going because, wow, today's football was absolutely brilliant. It's our best performance of the season so far. And I know that Hearts aren't exactly in a great place right now. They're not the quality of side that you would have came up against, 2-3 years ago. They have been a little bit down at the moment, but that's still as impressive as it gets going to Tynecastle, because it's still a difficult place to go. You know, and they've got more of their own supporters in that stadium now. You know, we only have 500 going. It's a hostile place to go, a hard place to go. And from the minute it started, you'd think we were playing rookies. You'd think that we were playing an amateur side. We were that good. We outclassed them on every level. The only tarnish on today's performance is we did concede. We didn't manage to keep the clean sheet, but we made up for it with the amount of goals that we scored. Some of the football, some of the movement on and off the ball was just absolutely magnificent today. It was another level. And Brendan Rodgers is now getting, I think, the best out of these players, exactly what he wants from these players, and they're understanding what he wants as a manager. I think that it's just all coming together nicely, and it has taken a bit of time to adjust, and we've seen that in the opening games of the season. But now, I think that the key players, the guys that you had to see adjust the most, are getting it. And that's particularly evident as we move up the park, because I think Kyogo's a completely different player now. For example, compared to what he was with Ange Postecoglou, I feel like he's a different striker now, a striker that's been asked to play a different role, and he's taken to it really, really well. And with the role that he's now playing, you see what it does for the players in behind him. Two of those players, Matt O'Reilly and Rio Hatate, who once again I thought had a really good game today. Matt O'Reilly on the score sheet, still our top scorer, having the season of his life. And I think a lot of what he's been allowed to do this season is with that changing roles in around that area of the park, having Kyogo drop a little bit deeper. And it's all just coming to fruition now. And you see the wingers getting heavily involved today. Maida gets a goal. Palma gets an assist. Can we just go back to the first half for a minute here and talk about how good that first goal actually is and how good a pass it is from Luis Palma? Unbelievable stuff. Saucy. That's the word that I would like to use to describe it. Just pure saucy from Luis Palma. The ball over to O'Reilly, and the way that he gets onto the end of the ball and he puts it away in the back of the net is just absolutely brilliant. Everything is coming together. And you see all these parts that maybe at the start of the season, it's what Brendan Rodgers wanted, but he wasn't getting. And that was an adjustment. Now, it's clicking. It's coming into place. And it's looking very good. I mean, that's 4 minutes into the game. If you're setting the tone, that's exactly how you do it. And from there on, it was an upwards battle for Hearts that they were never going to get back into. We were relentless. I thought defensively we were solid today as well. I think a real credit has to go to the middle three, because I thought the middle three were absolutely magnificent today. That holy trinity, as I keep calling them, of midfielders, Hatate, O'Reilly and McGregor, it could be the best midfield trio that I've seen in a long time at Celtic. I can't think of a midfield three who's been that good in the last sort of 5-10 years. I don't mean to over-exaggerate, but these are three players that we've now been watching for the best part of 2 years together, you know? O'Reilly coming in the January, Hatate coming in the January of 2021. So yeah, you're coming up 2 years now. And I think that it's the best midfield three that we've had in the last 5-10 years. I genuinely believe that. And they step it up every week. And today I thought they were the real key to doing as well as we did in the game, both attacking and defensively. Because I think that they all got stuck in. I think that they all had a part to play moving forward. Just thought they looked really well gelled together, and the chemistry was top notch. So yeah, it's just getting better and better with all aspects. But yeah, we set the tone from the off. We just kept going. Dyson Maida got the second, 23 minutes into the game, which just left us in a nice position heading into half time, didn't it? Game, set and match. There was no looking back from there. Second half, once again, I mean, you couldn't start it any better. We win a penalty in the 47th minute. Now, I know there's going to be Hearts fans. I know there's going to be Rangers fans clicking on to here. But I'm going to say about the penalty. Once again, Celtic getting a decision. It was given. Would I have given it personally? Probably not. I thought it was a bit light. Not a hell of a lot of contact for me. But the penalty's given. And listen, I've seen ones given for less. Against and for Celtic. So I'm trying to look at it level-headed here. The one thing is that we need to address here is why are we so bad at penalties? And it's not just a new thing. It's not a Brendan Rodgers thing. It's not a positive. We've been bad at penalties for years now. And I don't know what it is. We don't have a consistent penalty taker at the club who you know is going to score them week in, week out. Granted, I thought when Juranovic was at the club, we had a good penalty taker on him. He buried them more often than not. But I don't feel like we've had a good penalty taker. And who was the last? Was it Edouard? Was the last consistent penalty taker I think that we had. And I know you're not going back that far there, but to go now nearly 2 years, 3 years even, without an actual consistent penalty take on the side is nuts. Crazy that we can't hit them. God forbid we ever go to a penalty shout in a cup final. We'd be gubbed. We were terrible at them. Hitati's penalty hits the post, but we did. You know what? And you're up 2-0 in a game. You miss a penalty early in the second half. There's a number of multiverse scenarios that the game can go from there. You know, you can lose the game. Heads can drop. You can ultimately just take your foot off the gas and go, we've won this anyway. Let's just take it. Let's see it out. No. 3 minutes later, we're up the park and score again. Kyogo. And it was brilliantly worked once again. Magnificent football. And Kyogo adds to his goal tally for the season. And that's what I mean. We just kept going. We kept going. We kept going. Unbelievable stuff. I love the attitude of this group of lads we've got just now. And I think that's something else that also transcends managers. It was the same for Ange as it is for Rodgers. This group of lads that we've got right now, the attitude is fantastic. And you think how lucky we are. When you look at the other side of the city, they've got serial losers at their side, with players who have threw the toys at the pram numerous times, with a captain who's as useless as a knitted condom. We are in a fantastic, lucky position with this group of lads. We really are. The attitude is fantastic. The leadership is fantastic. We're just in such a strong place, and that's shown in win and defeat. So, aye, lovely. And then Hearts obviously scored. Dyson Maeda, a bit of chaos, as usual with Dyson. He loves chaos. He's an anarchist. But it was silly. It was really silly. He gives it right to Shankland, gifts it to him. And it's, to be fair, it's some finish. Like, you know, you could sit there all day and try and hit those, and more often than not, you're probably going to end up missing. And he's just hit it so sweetly. And Joe Hart has no chance. There's no way you're expecting somebody to save that. No keeper saving that. He tucks it away brilliantly. It's just a moment of madness for Dyson, and I'm not going to hold it too harshly on him because I thought Maeda had a great game. I thought he was good. Just that silly moment is, you know, in other games, you look at Europe, that could be the difference between winning and losing. So you need to iron them out the game, but we once again recovered really well. Good use of substitutions today from the manager, I thought, especially with Wednesday quickly approaching in the background. I thought it was a really smart use of substitutions. And Iwata, I mean, got to give credit to Iwata. Honestly, he deserves it. More often than not, he's coming off that bench and putting in a solid performance, and he gets his first Celtic goal today, and it's a brilliant goal as well. The finish is outstanding from the guy. I thought that O should have probably tucked one away right before it, but Iwata's there to clean up, do the second washing, and puts it in the back of the net. So, just overall, extremely happy with what we've seen today, and long may it continue. A lot of ranting and raving as always when it comes to these match reactions. More nonsense than anything really. But it is nice to see even, the manager getting his flowers today. And I know, as I said, there's a very clear absence right now, and quite a clear issue between an aspect of the supporters, a section of the supporters in the club at the moment. We know what that is. And without diving into it at the moment, it's nice to see the fans step up and give the manager his flowers. The ones who were at the game today. Nice to hear that song ringing round Parkhead. It's like a dream. A dream that I've been long looking forward to, and just one that you're still like, is this real? Hearing the Brendan Rodgers song back in the stadium, but he deserves it. And listen, it's a whole video in itself. I'm not going to get into it massively. You all know me. I'm a #1 fan here, for God's sake. I've been bumming up something rotten since fucking June. So I don't need to go through it. But, I think we should all be long over it now. He's doing a brilliant job, as I knew he would do. And he deserves the credit for that, no matter what way he left the club the first time. We are doing so well at the minute, and that deserves to be acknowledged. So, once again, long may it continue. Right, I'm going to wrap it up there. I've kind of rabbled. What am I even saying? That's it. Goodbye. Cheerio. Like and subscribe.